So, how to handle criticism? Because I think criticism comes from less than 1% of the people, but we are so scared of that criticism that we don't take the action which is required to become more and more courageous, to become more and more who we are supposed to be. What's your advice on how to handle criticism?
Well, let me say from two ways, because one is the professional advice,
Okay.
and then the other is the personal experience of it, because I think it's a very important topic. So from a professional point of view, I go and even train people in giving and receiving criticism. And usually when I say that, of course, there's a certain way to give criticism, and you don't say it as a statement or just say that you are like this or that. You can say, in my opinion, maybe you could do it this way, or I have some ideas about that or something. So everyone that gives criticism needs to take that ownership as it is their personal opinion, because no one holds the answer, right? So then you have the person who is receiving. So actually, if you have that mindset that whoever is criticizing you actually is doing you a favor. So basically, that person is going to give you something. It's a gift that will make you learn something new, become better in what you do. So if we start thinking like, when I want to criticize someone, I shouldn't even criticize them just to get it off my chest, or because I just want to make that person feel bad. Then I should just shut up. If I want you to become better, if I want to help you grow and be better at whatever you do, I'm giving you this gift of feedback, which is a better word for it than criticism. But then also I need, as a person receiving it, to see it as a gift and say, wow, thank you. I really appreciate it, because it's not easy to give criticism usually. Most people think that's hard. And then actually to say, well, thank you for, having the courage to tell me, and then having the courage yourself to take it in and see what you want to do about it. And that being said, you don't always have to make changes, even though someone tells you that you did this bad or good or not good at all, because it is up to you how you want to use whatever feedback you're getting. So if I want to take it from a personal point of view, so I've been standing on many stages and speaking about things that I'm passionate about. And afterwards, people come up to me and give a lot of positive feedback, which is wonderful. And then maybe sometimes someone comes up and say, hey, I have some advice that I would like to give. So my immediate reaction to that is like, ooh, I don't want to hear that, because I feel so good about all this positive feedback that I don't really want to hear about what's not good. But then again, I know that whatever that person's going to say is going to help me become a better presenter. So of course, I do want to take that in. Unfortunately, when I walk away from there, the one I remember is not the 15 that said I was great. It is the one who said, something I should do better. That being said, that is also the one that will help me learn and grow and be a better presenter or whatever, whatever I do. So I think it's all about the mindset where we come from when we give the feedback, and also how we receive it, and that it's a dialogue. It's not the one had the answer and the other is just the receptive. This is a dialogue, and actually have a conversation about it and see it as a gift.
How do we handle our ego? Because our ego stops us from listening to that 1% and click. I mean, especially on social media, people just, in person you can't punch the person. You want to, but you can't really punch the person. And well, most of the people don't, but on social media people end up blocking that person who is giving the feedback. And I tend to add that person, whoever is criticizing me, I add those people, because I think they make me a better person, because they're criticizing everything, which is good for me, because all of a sudden there's a conversation going on my wall, where people are actually communicating, be it religion, be it politics, be it, because there's a dialogue at least, and you can't really punch anyone on Facebook. You can't shoot anyone, you can't throw stones at anyone, you can't do anything except giving them data which can prove them to be, or help them become a better person. So how do we handle our egos, stopping from listening, from clicking that block button from everyone who is sort of criticizing us?
Yeah, and I think that's a really important thing, because if you just want to surround yourself with people who agree with you, you will never be better. You will never change. You will just stay the way. And it's dangerous. And you see that happening. And
Right.
you see it that's one of the reasons why they think the politics, the choices that
Donald Trump. Okay.
is that people just, and honestly, I realized that as well, because I think, like everyone else, I was shocked, because I never saw anyone saying anything nice about certain politicians that you just whispered. But of course, other people who did support him, they always saw that. So it's kind of reinforcing our own perceptions, and in a way that feels good because we're part of this tribe, and yes, I'm right because everyone's agreeing with me. And I have to admit too, I have friends that do support that man that you just whispered.
I have too.
And honestly, sometimes it's really interesting to talk to them, just because they come from a very, very different angle and
Right.
way of thinking. And I have to listen to that. I have to, be willing, and I can still keep my own beliefs and meaning, but not listening to the other, that I don't think is healthy. Talking about egos, I again think that if we want to just go around and think that we are brilliant just the way we are, well, you can do that, but that won't make you brilliant. So it's also about self-reflection and realize that, okay, I might not have the answer to everything, and be generous with other people, and let them have their opinions, and again, decide if you want to take it in or not, but just listen to people. I think that's important.
So to me, ego is nothing more than like an antivirus software built into us, which is not allowing anything new to come in. How do we handle this?
Ego comes from fear. We're afraid. We're afraid to be different. We're afraid to don't be liked. We're afraid to fail. We're afraid for so many things. And I think if we just let that just flow away and say, what's there to be afraid of? Actually, my dad, he was a bit worried when I sold the house and moved the country and started my own company and did all these crazy things. He was very fearful. And I said, so Dad, what's the worst thing that can happen to me? What's the absolute worst thing that can happen? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I was like, do you think I want to die because of this? Is it going to kill me? And he said, no. Well, then what is it to be afraid of? So it's of course, that might sound a bit extreme, but I think if we really start looking at what are the things we are afraid of and just decide it's not going to kill me. And if so, no one likes me, or I make a fool of myself, so what? Tomorrow's a new day. I get new friends, or I'll make something good tomorrow. So again, getting rid of fear as much as possible, and just think that it's not that important, really.
Thank you so much for enlightening us. Everyone, follow this woman. Become a better person. Share this video. Make everybody fearless.
Yoo-hoo!